Shove him across. It looks like, or is he short? The push was there. He's in the end zone, and as they unravel the bodies, they find that he's in the end zone and a touchdown. Hurts his second rushing touchdown tonight. Seattle 45, shotgun snap. Here's a four-man rush. Hurts winding up, long pass down the middle, arching into the end zone. It's intercepted, falling down on his back. Julian Love with the interception of Hurts in the end zone. Big defensive play for the Seahawks. It's the first turnover of the game. The rain has started again. 29 of Philadelphia. Seattle down by 4. Third down and 10. 33 seconds left. Shotgun snap. Three-man rush. Watt throws long pass down the far sideline. Caught over the shoulder. It's grabbed. Smith and Jigga. Touchdown. Touchdown. Seattle touchdown. The Seahawks have taken the lead. 28 seconds to go. Looking into six defensive backs. First and 10, Eagle 45. Hurts winds up, long arching spiral near sideline. Broken up. May have been intercepted. Out of bounds. Was it picked off? It was. Love is picked off the ball. Seattle is intercepted. Hurts at the 21. 6 seconds left.
Can you just describe what you're feeling in your heart right now?
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to describe the feeling of, not playing for so long, or at least what feels like a really long time to me. And then you sit there, you watch games, you wonder, can I do this still? I haven't been out there on the field. That's the human nature of it. You get back out there last week, I'm like, you know what? I'm the man still. I can go do this. And then you got another test this week where I didn't know if I was going to play or not. Sure enough, ended up playing. We're playing the Eagles tonight. And the boys around me rallied tonight. And it just, gosh, it feels so good. It feels so good. I'm so proud of everybody tonight.
Congratulations to you. We're all happy for you. Congrats.
Chiefs.
All in all, it was a good win yesterday. That's a tough place to play. And they've got all these games that they've lost by just one score. So to be able to put together, points on the board with some really good things, 6 out of the 8 first possessions were really good drives for us, and offensively, and then defensively to be able to come back and do what we did there, I thought was good. They had a couple drives that they put together, but for the most part, our defense, I thought, just did a real nice job.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John and Nate Bukaty with Jake Gutierrez. Laser the intern, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Today on the show, we'll talk to Joe Valerio and Mark Borichter and Jeff Chidia from NFL Network and NFL.com. We've got some sound from Andy Reid, who spoke with the media yesterday via Zoom. Man, that was a great intro, Jake. Last night on Monday Night Football, the Seattle Seahawks upset the Philadelphia Eagles, who are, they're going through it right now, man. They're in trouble. They do not look like a team that is going to have much success in the postseason with the way they're playing right now. All of a sudden, they're 10-4, and they have been struggling on both sides of the football. Jalen Hurts is not 100%. They've lost 3 in a row. And even going back to that, you think about how they were playing with fire. They went through the stretch of games where they were being outgained by over 100 yards, still finding a way to win the game.
I'm struggling.
I mean, they had a game where they, at the Commanders, 38-31. That Cowboys game, they probably should have lost. They won 28-23. The Chiefs game that they probably should have lost, they won 21-17. That Bills game that they damn near lost, 37-34. But, man, then their luck ran out. They got blown out by the 49ers and Cowboys. And now they lose last night to the Seahawks, 20-17. Now, they'll in somewhat similar fashion to the Chiefs, they'll get things turned around now because of their schedule. They play the Giants twice and the Cardinals once. And so from this point on, you got Giants, Cardinals, Giants. And so that's not I would not expect them to lose any of those games. So they'll turn things around here as far as ending their losing streak and putting together a couple of wins. But they won't know until they fix things, until they get to the postseason. And now they're not going to have that bye because they lost to the 49ers head-to-head. Now, the 49ers have to finish things. The 49ers have to take care of business. But they look good right now because they're 11-3, and the Eagles are 10-4. And like I said, they beat the Eagles head-to-head. And so they would have to lose a couple of games, which I don't think is going to happen. And so that was big last night for the 49ers to get the number 1 seed in the NFC. And look, there's 3 teams that have 10 wins. The Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Lions are all 10-4 right now. And so, I mean, the Eagles got to fix things. They can't afford to drop one of those games to the Giants, or they could end up losing the division, and they could end up falling behind the Lions as far as seeding. And so I sit here and say, oh, sure, they'll beat the Giants twice and the Cardinals. Well, who knows? Maybe they go to the Giants and they're just not right, and Jalen Hurts isn't right, and they might drop that game. Who knows? It's this season has shown us that you can expect the unexpected. But it was really cool last night to watch Drew Lock play well against the Eagles and come up with a dramatic touchdown throw to win the game on Monday Night Football and keep Seattle's playoff dreams alive. Right now, when you look at the rest of the standings in the NFC and what they did for Seattle last night, I mentioned now the situation that Philadelphia is in. Seattle, you have the Vikings and the Rams and Seattle and New Orleans all at 7-7, battling for the last 2 spots. Right now, because of tiebreakers, Minnesota would be the 6th seed, the Rams would be the 7th seed, and then you'd have the Seahawks and the Saints on the outside looking in. But the Seahawks needed to win that game last night to give themselves a good chance to at least try to come up with one of those playoff spots. And they came through against the Eagles. That was an important game last night. Hey, the NFL got it right. That was a lot better product than what the Chiefs and the Patriots would have provided on Monday Night Football. And it was, again, we followed Drew Lock from high school through his career at Mizzou, getting drafted by the Broncos, and then getting traded to the Seattle Seahawks. And we've rooted for him because he's a local kid, comes from a great family in this area. And, of course, I root for him because he played at Mizzou, and so a lot of Mizzou fans, especially now that he's away from Denver, wish him well and wish him success in the NFL. And so that was really cool last night, not only to see him throw that game-winning touchdown to rookie Jackson Smith-Njigba, But then to listen to him after the game, you heard a small clip of it. But, I know you do because I sent it to you, buddy. All right. But let's hear the full interview. Is that Lisa Salters? Is that right? Lisa Salters caught up with Drew Lock. A very emotional Drew Lock because, look, his NFL career has not gone the way he has hoped. He got drafted into a bad situation. There was not a good head coach there, not a good offensive-minded head coach when he got drafted, and he got drafted by a bad Denver team. And then he ends up going to Seattle, where Geno Smith has been able to hold on to the starting job. But because he's injured, Drew Lock played, and he was unsure he was going to play last night on Monday Night Football against Philadelphia. And you hear him talking about this. But here is Drew Lock after he goes 22-33 with 208 yards and a game-winning touchdown pass with just 28 seconds left to win the game for Seattle 20-17 over the Eagles and keep the Seahawks' playoff hopes alive.
Amazing won't do it justice. Amazing won't do it justice, but amazing also doesn't do justice what the O-line, what DK did on that catch, what the receivers did, what Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet did all game long, the tight ends, man. It takes a special group to rally around a guy that, is coming into his second game of the year, right? Used to the same thing all year long, same cadence, same spin of the ball, everything. A team like that, not just the offense, the defense to rally around me tonight, man, that was amazing.
I hear some emotion in your voice.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I'm just blessed. Blessed with a great group of guys, a great city, great coaching staff. It's awesome. It's a wow.
Drew, when did you even know you were going to be playing tonight?
Oh, there's a long story going into that one. But I kept the mentality that I was going to play, regardless of what was going on, how people were looking and whatnot. I was just like, you know what, you're going to go out there and play, so just be ready to play. Found out when we got here that I was going to get the nod and roll the dice, baby. Let's go.
Take us back to the touchdown pass to Jackson. Just what was the play call? Take me through it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll remember that play call for the rest of my life, but we're breaking the huddle. I knew Jax had the one-on-one. Good reminder from Shane in the headset. I said, hey, Jax, if you're one-on-one, I'm throwing you this pill. Sure enough, gave us a one-on-one look. Corner was soft. Jax hit him with some speed. Back pylon, back box throw, came down with it.
Again, Drew, we can see the emotion on your face. We can hear it in your voice. Can you just describe what you're feeling in your heart right now?
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to describe the feeling of, not playing for so long, or at least what feels like a really long time to me. And then you sit there, you watch games, you wonder, can I do this still? I haven't been out there on the field. That's the human nature of it. You get back out there last week, and I'm like, you know what? I'm the man still. I can go do this. And then you got another test this week where I didn't know if I was going to play or not. Sure enough, ended up playing. We're playing the Eagles tonight. And the boys around me rallied tonight. And it just, gosh, it feels so good. It feels so good. I'm so proud of everybody tonight.
Congratulations to you. We're all happy for you. Congrats. Happy holidays.
That was a great post-game interview right there.
Yeah.
Great post-game interview.
Yeah, Lisa Salters is really good, and she did a great job of recognizing the emotions that Locke was feeling and tapping into it. I think sometimes people do interviews, they just ask questions without really reacting to what the person's saying or how they're saying it. She was paying attention. That was great.
And just to hear the way he doubted himself because it had been a while since he's been able to play.
Yeah, that's real from him. Some guys might be afraid to admit that, but that's real, and it makes sense. Happy for him.
And just, to hear what it meant to him, he'll remember that play call for the rest of his life.
What a play.
I mean, that's a big deal, Your team needs that win to keep their playoff hopes alive, to stay tied for the last playoff spot. You're playing a team that they're desperate to win because they're trying to hold on to any hope to get the number one seed and trying to win their division. And they're the defending NFC champs, even though they're struggling right now. It's on Monday Night Football.
Your team's lost 4 in a row. Didn't know if you were going to start till 5 minutes before the game.
And you drilled that perfect pass to win the game with 28 seconds left on the clock.
And what a catch, too.
Yeah.
The whole play.
The whole drive.
Yeah, 10 passes. All 10 plays were passes. He moves them down the field, scores a touchdown.
92 yards.
Pretty great. Pretty great to see. And him talking about what he's been through as a player, getting benched, suffering 7 straight losses before that game. Context of all of it. It's really, really cool to see. And apparently Geno Smith, he said he and Geno Smith hugged like 10 times after the game. He said that Geno was really supportive of him the whole time, and that's pretty cool as well.
I bet Geno Smith can kind of identify what he's going through, man.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 similar situations for those quarterbacks. Geno resurrected his career last year there. You know, I'm sure he can identify with how he's feeling.
That's a great point. Sometimes in life you just got to hang in there, man. till things turn your way, or till you get an opportunity. And as you said, not just how bad Seattle needed it, but who they're playing against. Okay, Philadelphia's struggling, but they're still the defending NFC champs. And just a few weeks ago, everybody was talking about them being the best team in the NFL. So it's a massive performance. Really, really cool to see. And Locke seems like such an authentic. Whenever we've talked to him, I know you know him better than we do, Stephen, but he seems like such an authentic young man, and that was great.
I bet there are certain areas in Lee Summit that was going crazy last night watching Monday Night Football, right?
Oh, man.
I mean, how happy you got to be if you're anyone in his family or his friends or just watching that, because you don't know if you're ever going to get that chance, right?
Yeah.
With the way things have worked out, you hope you get that chance again. But again, to get that chance late in the season in a game with playoff implications against a marquee opponent like Philadelphia, and to have the opportunity on Monday Night Football, okay, we're getting the ball here. Got a chance to win the game against the defending NFC champs. Just to have the opportunity was against the odds, and then to pull it off and win in such dramatic fashion. It's great. It was awesome. So congrats to Drew Lock, repping the KC area and Lee Summit area and the Missouri Tigers last night on Monday Night Football and getting a win for the Seattle Seahawks. Congrats to Drew Lock. We will take a break. We'll hear some Andy Reid. Big Red spoke to the media. We'll talk about that after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, we'll talk some Chiefs now. We'll listen to Andy Reid. Nate said he's had enough of Drew Lock talk. Nate said in the commercial break, I want to hear Andy Reid chop it up with the local media. I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it, bro.
I like chopping it up.
I know you do.
I don't know what your problem is with chopping it up.
I don't have a problem chopping it up.
You do.
Chop it up.
No.
You don't like to chop it up.
I saw some guy post, I'm chopping it up here. Like, who says that? And I said, oh, Nate Bukaty does. So maybe I should start saying that. Yeah, a lot of people like you.
What do you chop it
Besides
up with?
you, who?
Really cool people.
Yeah.
A Cutco knife?
Do you chop it up a lot with people, Jake?
No,
Why not?
'cause I don't like people.
Nate says a lot of people say it. Do they?
I think it's a lot more common now. I mean, I don't know where the hell it came from. It's not
Came from Nate, apparently.
No, I mean,
I started it.
it's a young person's word, I think.
Jake prefers
Is it?
to finally dice things.
I,
Yeah.
don't know, I like to have conversations or talk.
Chop, 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 chop it up.
Like the tomahawk chop?
I don't know.
Is that what you do?
Some
Is that how you chop it
some
up?
people frown upon that.
Yeah, well,
You better watch it. If you're chopping it up, you're gonna make some people mad.
people can get over themselves.
No, they can't. Would you like to hear Andy Reid chop it up with the opening statement yesterday out at Arrowhead?
I'd love to. Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Is there opening statements?
Yes. Opening statement from Andy Reid.
Okay, good. Don't have any injuries for you. Updates there yet. Guys are coming in. All in all, it was a good win yesterday. That's a tough place to play, and they've got all these games that they've lost by just one score. So to be able to put together, points on the board with some really good things, 6 out of the 8 first possessions were really good drives for us, and offensively, and then defensively to be able to come back and do what we did there, I thought was good. They had a couple drives that they put together, but for the most part, our defense, I thought, just did a real nice job. I thought special teams did a nice job. I mentioned Tommy yesterday at the beginning of the press conference after the game, and that punt of his was really something special. So at a good time, and a good time for it to happen. So all in all, coming out of that game with the results that we had, I thought were positive, and there's some good things to build on. Plenty of stuff to work on. But some good things definitely took place. I liked where Pat was in the game and the job that he did. Again, throwing for over 300 yards, and some of the turnover issue was a little bit self-inflicted from our standpoint. We've got to catch the ball better and so on. So, and then Clyde to step in and do what he did, I thought was he really did a nice job there with the running back spot. And then there were some nice things that were done by the receivers, tight ends. I thought there were some real positive things done there. The offensive line that's a good defensive front, and obviously by their run game, the way they've presented themselves in the run game, they're first in the league. So we were able to do some things there to keep them off balance. Defensively, again, the pressure we were able to put on the quarterback, whether it was from a linebacker position, secondary position, from the defensive line, I thought was that's tough to stop from an offensive standpoint. So I thought that was productive there. I thought some of the tackling that we did was very good. And you've got to be able to do that down the stretch, in particular in cold weather game.
All right, let's hear more from Andy Reid here. Andy Reid talks about Kadarius Toney and where he is with Kadarius Toney right now, and then he'll also talk about tight ends and Isaiah Pacheco coming back.
Yeah, Pete, I'm not going to get in all that. I mean, the obvious is that he's got to make sure he catches the ball and does that. He's got a tremendous amount of talent. So he's a good kid, good attitude, good kid. So, but you got to make those plays. He knows it as well as anybody. So I'll leave it at that.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Coach, I have two questions for you. The first is you played more 2 tight end and 3 tight end sets in yesterday's game. I'm just wondering, is that a Patriots-specific sort of game plan, or is that something you think you can lean more on as the season progresses? And Brad, I'll have another question.
Yeah, we've been doing quite a little bit of that, throughout the year. And Noah is a good football player, and so we've tried to utilize him more as we go, and still has a big dose of the special teams. So but he's done very well, and then Blake has also done a nice job when called on. So we feel comfortable with the 3 tight end positions too. We've done that though throughout, but to have the flexibility, Nate, to be able to give them different personnel groups, still use the 3 wides, I think is good also. So good mixture helps.
And secondly, Coach, just for clarification purposes, I know you said Friday that Pacheco had his cleanup surgery, I guess, earlier last week. Was that like an arthroscopic surgery? And do you know if that was just to clean up cartilage, or if there was sort of tissue from the muscle that he needed to sort of get repaired on?
No, it wasn't the muscle. But he'll be back this week. He'll be good to go this week. So unless there's further setback, but I mean, right now everything's positive for him to go, and he really had a clearance last week from the fellow that did the surgery to go. So it was just a matter of being precautious on it. And that's not precaution, but cautious on it. So, did your mom not teach you how to make your bed back there, my man? Doggone you. Huh?
I'll get on that, Coach.
Yeah. All right.
Oh boy.
Got to make your bed, man.
Wow. Do you?
Every day, first thing before I even leave my bedroom.
What if people are still in the bed?
Well, you make your half.
That's ridiculous. Then where's Augie going to sleep?
Well, you didn't say there's a dog in the bed.
Well, she takes my spot usually when I leave.
Well.
Because she hears me. She knows she's got this timing down. She hears me moving about early, and Sue's on her side of the bed. And then Augie times it. And I'm in no position to try to stop her because I'm trying to take care of business.
Things going on.
Because I get done with the shower and everything else.
Pick your battles.
And then I'll go into my my little office and get ready and get everything together. And I usually get dressed. I have my clothes out there, so I'm not disturbing Sue. And then as I open the door, she's very quick to jump in there and jump in bed where I was laying. It's nice and warm, of course. And then immediately, and this is Augie, our Boston Terrier, because Danny is far too plump to be sneaking and jumping anywhere. And so Augie jumps in there, and as soon as she hits the bed, she's fake asleep. As soon as she hits the bed, she lays down, and all of a sudden, like a loud, over-exaggerated snore to let me know, hey, I'm already asleep. Don't mess. I'm already out.
Yeah.
It's, I'm asleep here. So please don't disturb. Right. As soon as she hits the, and then you could barely, a little side eye, looking to see if I've bought it.
Right.
And I have.
Yeah.
Just real quick. So I can't do that to Augie. you know. Because then if I make it, then she can't get into that nice warm spot. But she does like to be covered up, so.
The phrase, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it, always kind of caught me because it's like, don't you make your bed after you lie in it?
Correct.
Like, you don't make your bed, then lay down in it. Is it lay or lie? I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Lie.
Lie in it?
I don't know. Who was that got called out for?
Nate Taylor.
Hmm.
For not making his bed.
Doggone it.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's a great way to start your day.
Make
Just,
a bed,
you got to
doggone it.
win. You already got something done. You win that part of your day.
Dude, when my feet hit the ground, I won. Okay? If I get out of bed, I declare myself a winner. Trust me on that one. Let's hear one more. You want to take a break and then play more?
Play one more.
Let's play one more.
Play one more and break.
Here, Andy Reid was asked about some of the mistakes they made in ball security against the Patriots, and also he talks about the frustration from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you can't have those things, Soren. We've got to do a better job of hanging onto the football. Absolutely covered in traffic. Rice actually had it covered, and then he took his arm off it when he kind of spun around. And as important as these guys are, as hard as they're playing to get those extra yards, there's a point where the ball security overrules that. And young guys, they have to figure that out. And, you know, we've got to do better. You got to keep that thing up against your body. You got to keep it high and tight and covered in traffic. I mean, that's, and if it takes you out of that element by trying to spin around and make extra yards, you got to forget about that and keep the ball secured. So we've got to do better there, yes.
And then the other one, you know, Patrick, the cameras caught him pretty frustrated, you know, after the second interception when he came over. Do you worry about when those things go on? You mentioned guys securing the ball and maybe even Blake fighting a little, you know, positioning better. I don't know if there was a technique that he could have done better, maybe to help him out on that first one. But do you worry about Patrick's frustration level and that could boil over and affect his play?
Listen, I think, you know, he's competitive, Soren, just like you are, right? I mean, we all are. We're in this thing. You got to get your numbers, and we got to get our numbers and W's and L's and all that stuff. So, yeah, you know, it's a competitive business. So if you're, and he drives that thing. That's he's you want what he has, and so his demand on guys ends up being a big part of this, and makes us what we are. I mean, makes us better, and the great ones do that. And so, listen, you're going to drop the ball, or you're going to tip a ball, or you're going to fumble a ball. You know, he's going to let you know, let's go, in whatever manner he does. You know, and he gets on himself if he does something negative. I mean, it's but that's a welcome thing. But I don't think it is a negative. I don't think it's a discouraging thing for him, or, you know, he's very competitive and wants it right.
All right, we have more Andy Reid a little bit later. We will take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's hear some more Andy Reid from yesterday in his conversation with the media via Zoom. Here, Matt Derrick was asked Andy Reid about to elaborate about Isaiah Pacheco being back this week. Is that practice, or will he be able to play in the game?
Yeah, no, I think he'll play this week, Matt. Yeah, I think he'll be ready to go, and that was the clearance that he had to be able to do that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you. And secondly, obviously you've got some rotations changing at the receiver position. Two players in particular I'm kind of curious about, with Richie James and how he kind of fits into that room, and then when the return of Justin Ross, how you kind of see him fitting in as well after an absence.
Yeah, we'll have to see on Ross just where that goes. I'll get with Veach today, and we'll go through all that. Richie, though, has got to play more than 2 snaps. So that's my responsibility on that. I didn't have him in on enough stuff, and he's a good football player, though.
That's good to hear.
What's that?
Richie's got to play more than 2 snaps.
Yeah.
I could think of an area where he could get some more opportunities. Well, there's a couple spots now where he could get some more opportunities. So
yeah, Sky Moore out at least the rest of the regular season, being placed on IR, and maybe the return of Justin Ross. We'll see how he's worked back into the rotation, or if he is. But yes, there is some shuffling at wide receiver, and of course they have to decide what they're going to do with Kadarius Toney, which is still a mystery. Here, Andy was asked about the first touchdown and how long they work on plays like that before he actually calls them in a game.
Sure. Todd, that thing, I've been saying I was going to call it the last few weeks, and it just there wasn't the right opportunity to do that. But that was a good spot for it right there, but it wasn't because we were ready to run it at that time. That's not what I'm saying. We've been ready for the last few weeks on it. But you work on it once or twice a week, and then you build enough weeks on it, then you feel pretty good about that. To answer your question on whatever play it is. So yeah, it's kind of different. That one was obviously a little different. That was from I believe it was the Penn Columbia game in like the 40s. So
What's your reaction to Sky Moore going on the IR?
Well, look, I don't root for anybody to get hurt, and I feel for him that this year's been frustrating, and that's a frustrating way for it to end. But for the Chiefs, look, they need more production from that position. So I'm very hopeful that they might be able to get that from Richie James.
Need more from that position?
Oh, I see more. Yeah, now I get it.
I get what you're trying to say there.
It was a play on words, no pun intended.
How involved do you think Kadarius Toney will be in this game plan coming up on Sunday?
Boy, that's a great question. I have to think his role is going to be diminished. That he's not going to. I think I saw the snap count yesterday. He was on the. I'm trying to remember how many snaps, what percentage of the offensive snaps he was on the field for. I think that number's got to go down. It has to. I mean, I know that
it doesn't have to. Yeah.
We would like it to. Especially with Sky Moore going out, there's a chance it doesn't go down. It should.
I'd like to see Richie James get more snaps.
For sure. Not that he's been great when he has. I mean, he dropped a pass a couple weeks ago he had a chance to catch. But it's about.
It would have been a really good catch if he would have made that.
It would have been.
The drops that Kadarius Toney have are pedestrian passes right in the middle, hitting them in the numbers, and it just boofs it.
Yeah.
That drop that James had, he should have caught it, but it would have been a heck of a catch because he was getting hit at the same time.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Tough catch.
He was, yeah,
No
it would have been a
doubt.
tough
I mean,
catch. But it's one that you have to make.
I wouldn't. I know some people. I wouldn't call that a drop.
Yeah, I don't know that I've.
Kadarius Toney's had drops.
Those are flat out drops. Yeah, I guess that's my point. I'm saying none of these guys have been great, but there's levels to it.
There you go.
There's levels to it. I mean, I hate to say it, and I know we've been accused of piling on and all that. I'm not trying to pile on. It's just watching what you've seen. He's killed the team. 3 different games at least.
His drops are absolutely costly.
They're costly, and they're flat out drops. They're, like you said, they're wide open passes, hitting him right in the numbers.
He's blunders.
Like the first one that he had in the game where Patrick either threw it behind him or he should have stopped the route sooner, whatever it was. He still could have caught that one, right? Like that one hit him in the hands, but that one would have been a tough catch. That one's one where you're like, well, you'd like to see the receiver catch it. You feel like the elite receivers in the league a lot of times can come away with a catch like that, but I'm not going to put it all on Toney. At least we don't know who's if Mahomes missed through the pass or if he did the route wrong. There's a little bit of wiggle room there, right? It's kind of like in baseball. I've always had a problem with the fact that we just have it like binary with an error or a base hit. And, of course, with the modern way they do stats in baseball, they have different they have levels to it. But, like, if you let a routine ground ball go right through your legs, that's different than if you make a really tough catch on a backhand in the hole and then make an errant throw to first base, right? It's not the same thing. And he's had those moments. And so he's had a lot of them. So, yeah, I would much rather see Richie James, who's also put up some numbers last year. With a worse quarterback on a worse team, he put up some numbers.
He's only been given a handful of targets. He hasn't been given a full opportunity.
I think to answer your question, Stephen, I think they are going to back him off of the game plan. I think just for his own well-being, just kind of, hey, guy, we're just going to pull you back because there might be a point in time in this season that we're going to need you. So if we keep throwing you in the fire, we have 3 games. We can slow you, work you back in, maybe get you some confidence. But in terms of his role in the game plan, I mean, I think they have. I mean, Nate said you think they'd have to, but I think that would be logical in the situation they're in. And I think that kind of speaks to what Andy Reid was talking about. I need to get James on the field more. Well, I think that's right there is a sign that you're going to see less Toney because you're going to see more James.
Okay, so Toney played 40% of the offensive snaps. 20%?
Yeah.
I feel like that should be cut in half.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know, man. Again, they're I don't know that they're going to back him off. They're awfully stubborn about things like this.
Yeah.
And having Sky Moore go on IR just gives them another reason to put him out there even more. I mean, Rashee Rice is going to be out there. Justin Watson. I mean, MVS. What has MVS done during his snaps?
He only got 34% of the snaps.
That's about right. Get Justin Ross a look?
Why not?
And this was something that was brought up on Twitter that can Jerick McKinnon play the slot? I mean that somewhat jokingly, but somewhat serious too. I mean, you get Pacheco back.
I don't know, man. There's a reluctance there, but I think they'd be better off giving more snaps to Richie James.
Yep.
You've got a good complement of running backs that you can utilize them in the pass game. You can get Noah Gray involved more. He doesn't get enough targets, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
there's ways to spread around those targets and not have to do anything drastic, and also get away from Kadarius Toney until he can figure things out. Because I'm not even sure it's physically anymore, mentally. I mean, it's got to be weighing down on him. And again, the guy can't want to go out there and
right.
fail like he has and have issues. He wants to go out there and catch a football, and he's just, it's not, he couldn't have gotten this far and been a first-round pick in the NFL draft and been this bad at catching a football. You know, you see baseball players get the yips. It's just, this is a mental thing that he has to deal with. He has to get over it. And if they're patient enough, they think he will. But it just, we're not patient as fans or as people that cover the team. That's why we're not GMs and coaches.
Yet.
Yeah. You're holding out hope. We'll be back after this on WHB. Hey, Kansas City, Stephen St. John here for Emo's Pizza. That's right, Emo's Pizza. We had Emo's Pizza in here for lunch yesterday, and it was delicious. Thank you so much to Emo's Pizza for bringing in some toasted raviolis and several pizzas that were awesome. I know that Nate had a chance to enjoy the sweet heat, chicken, red onion, bacon, and Emo's sweet and tangy sauce. A little fire, a lot of flavor. He took that home. I took some pizza home for my kids, and we had a great time enjoying Emo's Pizza. If you would like some Emo's Pizza for the holidays, go to emospizza.com, and you can check out the menu and also get more info on the two locations in the Kansas City area, 4200 Rainbow Boulevard, and also on 135th Street in Overland Park. You can also take advantage of the double deal, 2 extra large one-topping pizzas for $33.99, or the square meal deal, large 2-topping pizza and 16 toasted ravioli for just $26.99 from Emo's Pizza. emospizza.com, and be sure to tell them SSJ sent you.